Coming up, Tzu Chi's first disaster survey and medical team establishes a soup kitchen in Bhaktapur, Nepal. Tzu Chi volunteers in New York attend a vigil and fundraiser organized at Times Square on behalf of quake victims in Nepal. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. With supplies arriving from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, Tzu Chi's first disaster survey and medical team in Nepal was able to establish a soup kitchen in Bhaktapur on Sunday. With the help of local residents, the kitchen will provide 2 meals to some 1,800 quake survivors every day. In Nepal, the fragrance of Tzu Chi's instant rice is attracting the curiosity of quake survivors. Tzu Chi's disaster survey and medical team has set up a soup kitchen under a tent in Bhaktapur so quake survivors may enjoy a hot, fresh meal. At the same time, team members are enlisting the help of survivors to mend the kitchen.
We've gathered some 30 people. Those that are young can speak English and are willing to volunteer. Have been separated into 3 groups. 2 of the groups will join in home visitations, while the last one will join the volunteers from Indonesia in manning the soup kitchen. We hope to cultivate more bodhisattvas this way and also inspire more people to join our efforts.
Thanks to the hot meals, quake survivors have regained their strength and spirit. In the future, the kitchen hopes to provide lunch and dinner to some 1,800 people every day. Hopefully, more Nepalese would take action to keep the circle of love going. In the wake of the 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Nepal, Tzu Chi's first disaster survey and medical team has been conducting disaster assessments and free clinics around the country. In our next report, we travel to the village of Pikul to see how the team has been alleviating suffering and how residents have reciprocated the volunteers' kindness. To welcome Tzu Chi's medical team, residents of Pikul village thoughtfully set up a tent to give doctors a place to conduct treatment.
Last time Tzu Chi's medical team was here, residents only had a small tent for doctors to conduct their free clinic. Last night, however, residents worked overnight to set up this area so doctors can carry out their treatment in a more suitable environment. We're here to clean and redress survivors' wounds. We've also brought extra medication with us because many have developed fever, cough, or headache.
This is Nanu Nama, who is a secondary school teacher. Although Nama's hometown was severely damaged by the strong quake, she still insists on volunteering on behalf of Tzu Chi.
And I got chance to join in the Tzu Chi Foundation, so I feel good and happy.
Also helping out is 19-year-old medical school student Niru Prajapati, who traveled from the city to Pikul village.
Trying to help them from my side. How much I can help them, I try.
I think it is great. All of us are very happy that doctors are here.
With many wheat fields surrounding the village, Pikul is not short on food but is in desperate need of medical resources. Thankfully, Tzu Chi is here to help.
We're grateful that the residents took time to set up this tent for us. They really put in a lot of thought and effort.
With the help of doctors from Taiwan, medical personnel, and teachers and students in Nepal, Pikul village is now filled with hope and warmth. Due to the tremor, many disaster-stricken areas are still without power. When nightfall comes, Tzu Chi's medical team makes their way carefully to the tent area.
His mother died.
His mother. When village, maybe.
And this is a granddaughter.
The team hopes to gain a better understanding of the quake survivors' situation and needs.
Medical doctor?
Yeah, I'm a medical doctor.
Oh, thank you.
Without access to food, medicine, water, or electricity, the more than 500 residents here are living in extreme hardship.
We will come back here as soon as possible. There are many tents like this around here, so we need to work quickly.
For the sake of all, Tzu Chi's medical team has promised to come back the following day to conduct a free clinic. Late on May 1st, Tzu Chi's second medical team arrived in Nepal, bringing with them orthopedic implants for those suffering from more severe bone fractures. The next day, 2 orthopedic operations were conducted. But first, we followed the first medical team as they continued to host small-scale free clinics to help as many quake survivors as possible.
Helping this 12-year-old girl to stabilize her broken ankle, Li Yigong quickly comes up with a splint.
I used thick cardboard to support her ankle, then used an elastic bandage to wrap it up.
Thanks to Dr. Li's help, the young girl was stable enough to travel to a nearby hospital to get her ankle checked. In this hard-hit quake area, over 100 houses have collapsed, leaving 1,000 people living in emergency shelters. Today, Tzu Chi's medical team has arrived to offer free medical care.
They are lacking medical supplies and food, so we made an appointment with the local authorities to come here today to help.
For seniors and others unable to travel to the free clinic, Superintendent Zhao Youcheng visits them in their tents to make sure they get the assistance they need. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, the medical team stopped by a school to host another free clinic. After treating patients, the doctors dig into a bowl of Tzu Chi's instant rice for lunch. Taking as little time as possible to rest, the medical team hopes to treat as many patients as they can during their time in Nepal. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi's second medical team is ready to operate on their first patient in Nepal. Using orthopedic equipment and supplies flown in from Taiwan, Taiwanese and Nepalese doctors work hand in hand to help a patient with severe fractures. After about an hour, the operation was successfully completed.
Her fractures were severe and complicated, so we spent a little bit more time on them. We're happy to have had this opportunity to help. Though we traveled far, we actually don't feel tired at all, but instead are filled with gratitude that we could arrive this quickly to contribute in our field of expertise.
Seeing how the doctors from Taiwan arrived in Nepal late in the night, yet immediately got to work the next day, local doctors were touched.
You people from Taiwan helping to us is very good, and thank you. Thank you for your help.
They greatly appreciated our assistance. This love from Taiwan. They know how far we have traveled and the obstacles we faced, including bringing such heavy medical equipment.
The 2 successful orthopedic operations on May 2nd have helped cement the friendship between these Taiwanese and Nepalese doctors for years to come.
Taiwan's worsening air pollution is caused by lack of enforcement of Air Quality Control Act and related government policies. If nothing is done, citizens may be breathing toxic fumes in the future. Here's what the government should be doing to deal with the problem.
报告，现在空气品质不良，如果有眼痛、咳嗽或喉咙痛等，应考虑减少户外活动。
To deal with Taiwan's worsening air pollution, the city of DaAi is leading the nation by raising air quality flags to serve as a warning in all public schools, including kindergartens.
The implementation of this policy at least helps us become aware of the problem and helps children learn about air pollution. We have asked borough magistrates to help pass on the information.
The parameters set by the Ministry of Education state that when the PM 2.5 concentration is 0 to 30 micrograms, the color of the flag is green. For 36 to 53, it's yellow. For 54 to 70, it's red. For 71 and above, it's purple. However, DaAi adheres to an even higher standard, the US standard, and raises yellow when there are 13 to 35 micrograms of PM 2.5 in the air.
For the month of March, only 16 days flew the green flag. So we only had good air quality days for half of the month. Just because the skies are clear doesn't mean the air quality is good.
Having participated in this event, I learned that the air quality in Chiayi and all other cities in Taiwan is actually quite poor.
Scholars believe the problem lies in the lack of enforcement of the Air Quality Control Act.
For those plants that aren't large enough to warrant an environmental impact survey, but discharge a lot of exhaust, we haven't really dealt with them. I think we should just levy a PM 2.5 tax. The pursuit of good air quality is our goal, but it's not a measure of enforcement. If we are to tighten our controls, we need to set standards according to different types of industries.
Scholars say Taiwan's power plants should burn natural gas instead of coal, levy pollution tax, raise electricity prices, and help convert polluting industries.
To reach the new standards set by the EPA, which is 15 micrograms per cubic meter, means a 25% reduction in the current pollution. This means all coal power plants in Taiwan need to be burning natural gas instead.
However, Taipower says the cost of burning natural gas is 3 times that of burning coal and 10 times that of using nuclear power. With the way the industry is structured currently, a hike in electricity bill will only lead to public outrage. But there are alternatives.
Citizens can start making adjustments in their life by conserving power or switching to more energy-efficient products. In terms of utilizing mass transportation, if you won't save much time by driving a car or riding a scooter, then that's what you should do.
On this day, 6 city mayors and county governors in southern Taiwan signed an act to ban the burning of petroleum coke and coal in their districts. If such a program is carried out nationally, it will drastically reduce the amount of sulfuric oxide, nitrous oxide, and fine particles in the air. To save citizens from the threat of PM 2.5, Taiwan needs to focus on developing renewable energy and converting its aging heavy industries. Otherwise, citizens may only be breathing in toxic fumes in the future.
Next, we travel to New York City, where more than 2,000 people, including local Tzu Chi volunteers, showed up at Times Square to attend a vigil and fundraiser organized by DaAi Card, a non-governmental organization working with Nepali communities to promote human rights and social justice for all. During the event, Tzu Chi volunteers also sang the Tzu Chi song prayer to show their love and support for Nepal and its citizens.
With the support that we have received so far, many of us here have been shown love and support from our friends, as well as we've also been doing fundraising campaigns, and there's been an overwhelming support. We wanted to be somewhere where it was very visible and iconic New York.
We need the help, and we need all the Nepali people, that's why we all together here, that's why I came here.
When we made a Facebook group, we thought like maybe 200 or 100 people would come in, but it's more than 2,000, and we were very overwhelmed with the crowds. So it's a big crowd right now.
It's a healing space to be amongst so many people who understand what I'm going through. And
this is Tzu Chi Foundation. We are from Taiwan. We have 2 relief teams already in Nepal. Our founder, Master Jian Yan, wanted us to sing a prayer for Nepal. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering year after year.
Pray for the Nepal. Say for Nepal. Thank you very much.
We are mourning your loss. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you.
You know, it's a really powerful night. There are so many people from all over the city, not just Nepalese, but others who are here to stand with the Nepalese people in their time of need. But it's very New York, and we're better to do that than in the crossroads of the world here in Times Square.
I work 5 days. I can work overtime to help my country and wherever I can help.
I want to give a special message to my people in Nepal. Stay strong. We'll be there to help you.
Stay strong. You know, let us know how we can be of support. You know, there's nothing we can do to undo what happened, but we want to be there and support in whatever way we can.
Feel hope. We are going to unite and we are going to rebuild our country. Stay strong, Nepal.
The cycle of love and compassion continues to blossom in the wake of the Nepal earthquake as Tzu Chi volunteers across the United States quickly stood up to answer the call for donations to aid earthquake recovery efforts in the country. Here's more.
I feel really heartbroken for the people there and the tragedy, and so I just want to do something to help.
I was in Nepal with the family. People there are very warm, very welcoming. They are basically Buddhist. Some of them are Hindus, but they're all very, very nice people. I hope more and more people will follow us and send money and help to Nepal because they really needed it.
I have been involved and supported the Tzu Chi Foundation for probably about 5 years or more. Every penny that they collect out here today or any day is going to go directly to the victims.
I want to show her that it's very important to give back to our community and to other countries. It's not just about them receiving. I would like to install these morals for them and teach them that there's more than just taking from people. It's very important to give back and to be supportive of people that are in need.
Send love to Nepal.
We are praying for Nepal.
Send love to Nepal.
Each year, the Cinco de Mayo festival in Wilmington draws large crowds, and this year was no exception. However, this year, a group of people dressed in blue and white stood out from the crowd.
The earthquake in Nepal caused widespread devastation. Those who have the means can contribute financially. Those who don't can contribute their strength. I'm not well off, so I'm canvassing for donations as a way to help. It is a rewarding feeling to be able to help others in need.
To help those affected by the earthquake, Tzu Chi volunteers across the United States have come together to hold donation drives in their local communities. Here at the Wilmington Community Clinic, 4 Hispanic volunteers have stepped up to help.
We just keep the people in our prayers and continue to help and not be sorry for anything because we're doing the right thing for the people and for ourselves mostly.
Meanwhile, in Seattle, volunteers and students of the Tzu Chi Academy took to the streets to do their bit. Despite suffering from a fracture in her foot, Chen Jinling was nonetheless determined to contribute in kind.
Actually, she battles to walk and is unable to stand for long periods at a time. Her husband and children ask her, "Can you handle being on your feet for 2 hours?" She told them that she would be really sad if she did not do something to help.
There was widespread devastation across the entire country. It will take a lot of money to rebuild, so we have to seize the opportunity while we can to help them.
With Tzu Chi volunteers in Seattle coming together to do what they can, their counterparts in Phoenix also pitched in. Splitting into small teams, volunteers stationed themselves outside supermarkets with their collection boxes. It is in times like these that the love and kindness of humanity can help restore faith and hope to helpless hearts.
As the world comes together to support Nepal, so as Tzu Chi, in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers in Bhaktapur organized a blessing ceremony at the local factory for Nepalese laborers to pray for their families and friends back home, while in Kuala Lumpur, volunteers young and old canvassed for donations inside a local mall. But first, let's turn our camera to the Philippines and see how local Filipinos, although not well off, were inspired to contribute their prayers and love for the Nepalese.
Here in Manila, preparations for Tzu Chi's upcoming Buddha Day ceremony is now in full swing. Each time this year, local residents who were once victims of Typhoon Ketsana come together to immerse themselves in the Dharma and joy of Buddha Day. This year, residents are further extending their support to the thousands whose lives have been upended by the earthquake in Nepal.
I am very happy that many of my fellow Buddha Day participants have found it in their hearts to donate to help the earthquake victims.
Reminded of how her life had been torn apart in the aftermath of Typhoon Ketsana, Marianne can relate deeply to what the quake survivors are going through.
The earthquake in Nepal reminded me of what we went through previously. Even though my contributions are limited, no matter the amount, I trust that it can still help them.
Here at the Jingsu Hall, community residents are also responding to the call for help.
I am happy that we are able to help the Nepalese through the Tzu Chi Foundation.
Knowing how Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for them unconditionally over the years, care recipients have come to learn that love is boundless and were inspired to help when they saw news of the devastation in Nepal.
I made a donation because I have also received help from others in the past, so this time around, it's my turn to help.
Although they are unable to assist on the front lines, in their own way, these kind-hearted Filipinos are sending their love to the quake survivors. With donation boxes and posters in hand, volunteers in Kuala Lumpur take to the streets to canvass for donations to help Nepal's quake survivors.
You are very good. I mean, your organization, you have this sort of humanitarian feeling to help people. More people should come and help with this campaign.
With a donation box in hand, this young boy bows 90 degrees to all the passers-by. He is the son of volunteer Chen Yunxiang, who is here with the rest of his family.
Last time I attended a donation drive with my son, and I shared some of the photos with my wife and daughter. They couldn't make it last time, but promised to attend the next event, so they are here with me today.
The love of the Tzu Chi volunteers in the wake of the tremor has deeply touched the Nepalese laborers of this factory in Bhaktapur.
We arranged to come and visit on their day off. We showed them some videos and gave them a brief introduction to Tzu Chi. We wanted them to have a better understanding of Tzu Chi's efforts in Nepal.
Apart from highlighting Tzu Chi's ongoing relief efforts in Nepal, volunteers also led the workers in a prayer for their country.
It's horrifying. I called home when I learned about the earthquake. I told my family not to be afraid and to get to some place safe, and that I will be praying for them.
Despite the language barrier, the Nepalese pray sincerely in the hope that their fellow countrymen may soon walk away from the shadows of grief and despair.
As Mother's Day is just around the corner, Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings of the National Penghu University of Science and Technology brought the joy of the holiday to a local nursing home. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.